Your old or broken phone can let you down when you need it most.
Perfect.
But at Verizon, trade in any old phone from our top brands and get the most for it, up to $2,000 in value, for an amazing new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence and a new line on My Plan, and iPad and Apple Watch Series 10. That's like a 3-for-1. And you can get it on any plan. At Verizon, trade in your old phone for a brand new iPhone 16 Pro, iPad, and Apple Watch. The other guys won't give you that. Visit Verizon.com today. Additional terms apply. Service plan required for Apple Watch and iPad. Up to $2,000 value based on iPhone, iPad, and Apple Watch.
Welcome to the Dogs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
What's up, Browns fans? Welcome to the 500th episode. I said welcome back because this is the third time, and I told you guys that we were going to finally knock it out and get in here and do the 500th episode. This is the celebration of the 500th episode because we obviously had to postpone a few times. Already got a new YouTube member. Doesn't matter. Thank you so much. And he kind of helped me. I'm going to just segue into it. John, I left that sitting up there. So today, for the celebration of the 500th episode, we are going to be giving away 3 Dogs Podcast t-shirts. So if you are a YouTube member already, or if you joined during this episode, you will be entered for a chance to that. Everybody's names will just be entered into a random name generator. We'll be doing that throughout the episode. So the earlier you join, the better chance you'll have, because there'll be more drawings. If you wait till the end, that's the last drawing. So make sure you join now if you want a chance to win a t-shirt. If you want a chance to win a Browns jersey, a legit Browns NFL jersey sewn on, all that good stuff, it is become a Dog Pack member. Either already be one or become one by the end of this episode. We'll probably have to do that one towards the end since we're only drawing one. And then also we are going to be raffling off for anybody who is either a YouTube member or Dog Pack member between now and the end of the episode. You might have seen it on the desk already. This is an autographed Nick Chubb mini helmet that we have proof of Justin getting it signed. He went up and met Nick Chubb at the Cleveland Auto Show. So we'll set this right here on the desk. Autographed by Cleveland Brown legend Nick Chubb, Cleveland Brown fan favorite. So that's Dogs Podcast t-shirts we're giving away, a Browns jersey, and an autographed Nick Chubb Browns mini helmet. So become a YouTube member, become a Dog Pack member between now and the end of this episode, and you have a chance to win one of those prizes. It's just kind of our way to say thank you to everybody who's helped support us through what is now 510 or 15 or so episodes that we've done since we started this in the year 2021 of our Lord. I did see somebody say, is that John? This is John. We have John here with us for the entire episode, bringing him back. If he does a good job. You know what got you this opportunity is when we did the on-site episode up at the Browns backers party up in Cleveland. You did such a good job. I was like, we're going to give John another opportunity here to come in and do an episode. So maybe you can parlay this into some guest spots down the road. So we got John here. Cheer him on. Anybody who's watching, they know John's been a Dog Pack host and member for a long time. We also got Kenny Mack, our friend from the Great White North up here. He's going to be with us for about the first 10 minutes or so. So we just got a fun episode lined up. Remember, we got a ton of voicemails to get to. If you want to get voicemails on the show, head to thedogspodcast.com, tap leave voicemail on the drop-down menu. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Make sure you have the notification tab so you don't miss any of the content we're putting out. Again, become a YouTube member for a chance to win one of these prizes tonight. It also helps support the show a ton. Speaking of some of the stuff that's going to be coming out, obviously our episodes, and we'll be live on draft night again when we finally have round 1 to do for the first time since the very first year we did this show. So make sure that notification bell is tapped. If you prefer to just listen to the show, you can find us on Apple, Spotify, and Google. If you looking for us on any social media platforms, just search at the Dogs Podcast. And lastly, if you're looking for more Dogs content, or if you want to win a Browns jersey tonight or a Nick Chubb helmet, head to jointhedogs.com, become an official Dog Pack member on the Patreon page, get access to the private Discord, play fantasy football with us, just meet Browns fans from all over the world, be entered into any contest or giveaway we ever do. It's just a good time for everybody involved. So if that's something you're interested in, you want to win a Browns jersey tonight, you want to win a Nick Chubb's autographed helmet, that's jointhedogs.com. Guys, it's good to be here. 500. Holy cow. I almost weighed 500 pounds on our first episode. Yeah. So we've come a long way. we have some voicemails before we kind of kick it off. Do we just want to start the episode with one of our voicemails and then we'll just kind of go?
Yeah, absolutely.
Could I start the episode with an apology to the fans?
Yes.
Blake was hyping up a special guest. It was not me.
It was not. It was not. We were supposed to have Zach Kopp also, and then he went and had his baby. In his defense, we did postpone twice.
Yeah.
But like I mentioned last episode, Zach did have his baby, so congratulations to the Kopps. But obviously, we weren't going to drag him out of the house when he's got a 4-day-old at home, 5-day-old baby. So congratulations to Zach. But he was unable to make it, but he's here in spirit. But John, you're a good second prize.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
The chat seems to be have missed you, so that's good.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going voicemail.
Yes.
Mr. Andrew Jackson.
What's up, guys? This is Andrew Jackson here. 500 episodes, man. We're like 510 now, but whatever. Man, it's been a long time since that checking in on that first episode I ever watched, the draft special with Greg Newsom. Been a long time. And I just want to stop and give you guys your flowers, man. Like, not only you guys great for on the show, but you guys are literally some of the best guys that anyone could ever ask for. There's not a day that's gone by that I haven't seen your guys' names come across my phone somewhere or the other. So I just want to give you guys your flowers and say thank you for being a great host to a show and watching it grow from a few 100,000, of subscribers to now over 10,000. I made some lifelong friends through you guys and with you guys. So, guys, I just want to honestly appreciate everything that you guys have done. And you know what? You're on your way up to the top. You're going to keep on going. So, Joy Taylor, you better move over. These guys are coming for your spot. Love you guys.
Not coming for that spot.
Joy Taylor
she can keep that spot.
Yes. I'm not willing to go as far as Joy Taylor went. In all seriousness, no, thank you. Almost brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah.
When he says like lifelong friends and he sees our name come across his phone every day. Guys, I'm not kidding you. You join that dog pack and you join that private Discord. It's literally all day. Since we started the dog pack.
Justin's phone just lit up. Yeah. Discord.
Yes.
Yeah, we're getting messages right now.
Not a day goes by that I haven't talked to or read something from somebody in the dog pack. I've probably talked to Andrew Jackson every day for 4 years now.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild. And we just kind of started on a whim. Like, oh, we got 10 people who watch the show. Maybe we can start this up and people will watch it. So, thank you, Andrew. That was awesome. We've all had the chance to meet Andrew, just like we met a lot of these guys. So we appreciate that. So we'll kind of dive into the episode now while we have, we're done tooting our own horn. I just kind of look like, but while we got Kenny here for the beginning of this. So one of the first things we want to get into is kind of where the Browns stand at the quarterback position in terms of, we can just kind of talk about it in terms of free agency and in the draft, I guess, are you guys, are you surprised that the Falcons are holding on to Kirk Cousins still in playing this much hardball? And are you also surprised at just how dead the market is? Like, we all expected a bridge quarterback for the Browns, and Kenny Pickett was not on my bingo card as the bridge quarterback. He's nowhere near on the radar, I guess, mostly because he wasn't going to be a free agent, but also because we don't think he's any good. Are you guys shocked at the lack of, we still don't have a starter, in my opinion, on this roster?
You're true on that.
Where do you guys see the Browns going in terms of, are we going to get a better bridge quarterback, or is it going to be Kenny Pickett and then probably a rookie?
I think that a lot of we spent the whole offseason before now saying veteran bridge, all that kind of stuff. But when you think about it logically, these guys are looking at the Browns and they're seeing that number 2 pick and they're saying, come on, exactly what Mary Kay said about Kirk Cousins. You're going to Penix me. As soon as things start to go south a little bit, or I throw a couple picks, you're putting the rookie in at some point this year. And then I got to go do this whole song and dance again next year. So I understand why Russell Wilson and, these guys are maybe not so eager to come here. And I'm not as shocked about Kirk Cousins, because I told you, I did not expect him to be available, at least not yet. And so far he's not.
No, I mean, that's fair. The thing that's crazy for me is it became very alarming about 3 weeks ago, because I was just like, man, the names, how the smoke kind of clears out and you start seeing where people are projected to go. Well, I wasn't seeing anybody projected to go to Cleveland. And I was like, man, I'm like, well, you know, like, hey, let's see what happens. You know, maybe we throw a trade around. The names that are left, there's a couple guys left that, you know, if you put them on our team, the win-loss, you know, needle moves up. But then after that, it is, I mean, we're talking Carson Wentz, we're talking Drew Lock, like guys that like are second or third quarterbacks, you know, the last few years. And we're saying, oh, well, hey, you know, we need a bridge quarterback for a year. It doesn't look good. It doesn't. The optics are terrible. And how do you convince a guy like Kirk Cousins or Russell Wilson, hey, we were just 3-14, but we're turning this thing around? When you look, it doesn't really seem like it's gaining any kind of traction. It even seems like it gets worse as the days go by.
I'll tell you what's crazy to me is not just the lack of quarterback. We just watched historically one of the worst offenses in NFL history, and we've upgraded backup tackle and backup quarterback. We've added no running backs, no wide receiver. I mean, we've added nothing to the offensive roster. It makes me, I think every pick is going to be offense in the draft. Like there's no other way that we're going to score points. At least that's the way I look at it. What about you, Kenny?
Yeah, the weirdest thing is I was thinking about Russell Wilson when he came. Okay, now imagine you're Russell Wilson, and you come in, and the first guy that meets you is a guy that didn't want to be there, but actually really signed. So that was Myles Garrett. Guess who the second guy he met? It was Deshaun Watson was there, and you're like, what am I doing here? You guys are going to draft a quarterback, like Josh mentioned. You have this guy that's like this enigma or this like, I don't know if he's coming back or what he's doing, but Deshaun Watson's there. He probably just thought this is dysfunctional already, sat down, heard some kind of pitch from Barry. And what is Barry going to tell him? Well, we don't have really anyone in the running back room. And if you look past Njoku, we don't really have anybody there. And we got about 3 receivers on the roster. And any quarterback would run away from here going, what the hell? And that's trickling down to the free agents. I don't think we're very sexy right now.
Fair.
Speak for yourself. What about you, John? Is there anybody out there you want or surprised that we haven't at least kicked the tires on?
Yeah, I mean, I was talking before we started shooting with Josh and Justin. I'm not like going to be super stoked if we go out and get Russell Wilson. I mean, I'd be happy that we have him, I guess, but not like I remember I told Kenny too, like the 2 most excited times as a Browns fan for me are when we got Odell Beckham Jr. or when we got Deshaun Watson. Look how that turned out. So I don't know. Aaron Rodgers didn't sign anywhere, did he?
No,
everybody's waiting on him.
But I don't think
he's not. I'm not hearing him.
I don't think
in
he's
the Browns.
even in contention for the Browns.
No,
and everybody's waiting on him. And I think from what I hear, he's waiting on the Vikings. Mm-hmm. Basically, he wants to go to the Vikings, and the Vikings aren't 100% sure they want him.
I would want to go to the Vikings too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the Vikings are worried that they're like this close to being, you know, a Super Bowl contender. And it's like, do we roll with this young quarterback that we obviously put a lot of faith in, and we took him in the first round for a reason, but maybe he's not any good. Maybe he's not ready. Maybe the moment's too big for him. Do we want to put Super Bowl hopes on a first-year starter, or do we go get Aaron Rodgers, who we think can still play, but maybe he'll destroy our locker room?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think it's a big decision for the Vikings, because if you don't go get Aaron Rodgers and he goes somewhere else and he plays well and J.J. McCarthy struggles and you win 8 games this year, your people are going to be saying, you could have had Aaron Rodgers. He wanted to come there. And if you do get Aaron Rodgers, and we're talking about the locker room imploding midway through the season, it's like, you just drafted this guy in the first round. Why didn't you roll with him? You must not have had any faith in him. So it's not a position I envy if I'm the Vikings. Obviously, I'd rather be the Vikings than the Browns right now.
Right, yeah.
But it's not an easy decision for them. I think, like you said, it's going to be hard if the Falcons aren't willing to just cut bait with Kirk Cousins, and it's a trade. He's not going to waive his no trade clause, I don't think, to come here unless you guarantee him that you're not taking a quarterback. I think that's the only way you can get Kirk to come in here, because it's not even if Kirk could be playing really, really well for the Browns, but if we're not winning games and all of a sudden you get the midway point of the season and there's no point in trying to win football games anymore because we're already out of it, it makes sense to go to your rookie to see what you have for the next year. So even if Kirk could be in a lose-lose situation where he could come in and he could play really, really well and say we just lose a couple tough games, or maybe the defense regresses and we give up a bunch of points, or something like that happens and we find ourselves in a situation where we're not going to make the playoffs with 6 games to go, and all of a sudden you bet he's getting benched again just to see what we have in our first-round rookie to head into the next season so we can evaluate. I think that's a tough sell for him, and it sounds to me like Russell Wilson – I'm almost getting the sense that was just to pressure the Falcons into doing something with Kirk Cousins.
And it almost felt like that and a little bit of like let's just kind of get a meeting here together, get to know each other, just in case you don't find what you're looking for, we don't find what we're looking for, and maybe we fall back together. But
injury midseason.
Yeah, it just
like
didn't feel like there was anything too serious about that. With Kirk Cousins, though, whenever he left Minnesota, wasn't one of the big deals, if I remember right, like where he was going to move his family? Because wherever he went, like he wanted some stability.
Sure, yeah.
Wasn't that part of that whole thing with the Falcons? If I remember that right. Yeah. So is he really going to come?
I think it was for sure.
Yeah. Is he going to waive his no trade clause to come to Cleveland, move his family again for 1 year? Because if we draft that rookie in this, he's not sitting 2 years. It's not going to happen.
I would even.
He'd be technically closer to his residence, right? Like where he lived. Because he lived in Michigan, did he not?
I know he at least went to college in Michigan. I don't remember if that's where he's from or not.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
My only thing would be if they don't, just cut him, release him, whatever. If we trade for him, how does that look on the books? Because then you're obviously the $10 million's off.
I don't think we can trade for him
at all. Well, just because you're saying number wise, you're saying
I think
money
Falcons
wise,
would have to eat a lot of that money,
and they're saying they want somebody else to eat that money. So I'm saying if we're 12, I think the number right now is 12 million in the green.
Yeah,
right,
12.9 actually. I think.
Okay, how are we taking on? Let's say it's 30 this year and 40 next year, and you know what I mean. I feel like we're just right back in the same bullshit situation where we're just paying a bunch of money to a quarterback that we're not even sure is going to be on the team for the length of the contract.
I see there was a comment up here that says Cooper Rush was sitting there. He has a lot of wins with the Cowboys. I don't know why we didn't bring him in. So between Cooper Rush, which was a name I think I mentioned on our last episode as a name that potentially caught my eye, and a guy like Gardner Minshew, which was another guy that I thought that could have been a viable option for the Browns. The fact that the only move we've made for so far is to trade for Kenny Pickett, and we didn't go sign any of these other guys, and it doesn't seem like we're pushing real hard to get Kirk Cousins or whatever. I think all the writing on the wall is that it's quarterback at 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's handcuffed.
If you're not taking a quarterback at 2,
what are we doing?
Where you're going to get, I mean, Drew Lock's still sitting out there, started a lot of games. I think Drew Lock could play. That was a name I threw out even before the end of the season last year when the playoffs were still going on. I threw Drew Lock out as a potential bridge quarterback for the Browns. I think he could play really well in a Kevin Stefanski offense. And he's still he's sitting out there free agent, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like Gardner Minshew, in my opinion, has always kind of been like a not quite as good Baker Mayfield. And we saw what Kevin got out of a healthy Baker Mayfield in this season. So the fact that we've only made the move for Pickett, I think it's becoming very, very clear that we're taking a quarterback in the draft. I know Nathan Zagura said that the first pick is going to be a quarterback. He kind of insinuated maybe it's not at 2. My only fear at that is if there's a guy that you think is there's a guy you think is the guy, and you're not just picking him because we need one, take him at 2. Don't risk not getting him.
Well, what if he was insinuating picking at 1? And not 2.
That's fine. But it's just one of those things like don't risk trading back or letting somebody else jump you if you've identified the guy that is the guy and you're not just picking it because you need one.
Yeah, I've been talking to people that if it's Jackson Dart, if they come out of this process and say, we think Jackson Dart's our guy, then take him at 2, like you're saying. Don't screw around. Just get your guy. And I wouldn't hate it. I mean, I like Jackson Dart, but I just as long as the Browns just tell me you identified the guy and you got him.
Well, we've seen the narrative too. Every year that we've watched the Browns draft, they like to trade back, and then they usually don't end up getting the guys that they're going after for an extra, a pick in the 3rd or 4th or whatever. The thing that's crazy for me with the quarterback thing as far as like Minshew and Cooper Rush, those guys signed to be backups.
Yeah, and they
On good teams.
Yes.
On good teams. Like, don't get me wrong, on championship level teams. But I'm saying, how crazy is it that guys would rather go and sit for a year than have an opportunity to be a starter in Cleveland?
Or we just didn't even reach out.
Well, if we didn't reach out,
You know
then
what I
what the fuck are we doing?
That's what I'm saying. We're drafting a quarterback. We already traded for our backup. Or it also tells me if they told Pickett he has a chance to compete to be the starter, it tells me they traded for him and we're going to draft one, and it's going to be a legit quarterback competition.
Or we're going to draft two.
Yes, we're going to draft two.
And he will have the leg up if it's two rookies and him.
Yep, and it's going to be a legit quarterback competition. And if Pickett beats him out, then great for us. That means he's better than we thought. And if not, we're going to roll with our rookie.
Or our draft picks suck.
You know, I
was thinking that
draft
too.
picks suck. Yes. This person says, where'd it go? I just saw it said something about Will Howard. Oh, said Joe Flacco. What do you think, John? I keep seeing this name. Do you think they should bring Joe Flacco back?
Not really. I mean, what I want to do something this year. Like I'm just too optimistic, but I want to try to win. Like I'm sick of trying to be okay. And Joe Flacco gave the Texans more points than he gave the Browns in the playoffs. So I'm good. I mean, yeah, maybe you can win some games with him, but that's not the goal.
My thought on it was, one, he didn't look good for the Colts last year. And two, I feel like what we got out of Flacco, we caught lightning in a bottle. That more than likely it doesn't happen 2 times. What about you, Kenny? Do you think we should bring back Joe Flacco?
I think that boat sailed, and I just think you move on to something else. If you're going to go draft a quarterback second overall, just take a quarterback and stick with that quarterback. If it's somebody like Shedeur Sanders, who has very similar attributes to Kenny Pickett, someone who's athletic and can manage the game, sure, like do that. Start Pickett at the beginning of the year, but we got to get some weapons, man. We need weapons. We need weapons to make the offense go. We need weapons to attract free agents. Like that's what we need to do. I'm not worried about Flacco.
This episode is brought to you by Bodden Sports. Browns fans, Bodden Sports is your one-stop shop for all your athletic gear. Bodden started out perfecting and manufacturing the best balls in the business. Yeah, if that sounded dirty, that's more about your mind than my words. But hey, it's true. Baseballs, softballs, footballs, basketballs, volleyballs, soccer balls, you name it, and Bodden has engineered the highest standard sports balls available. And now they offer more than just sports balls. If you got kids playing baseball or softball, Bodden has batting gloves and bats to go along with both game balls and training balls. If you're into basketball, Bodden makes basketball specifically for indoor or outdoor use. Heck, Bodden even has all the equipment you need for pickleball, which is one sport that I hear everyone is playing and yet I still never have. And I need to fix that soon. But don't miss the backyard games section of Bodden's website where you can order everything you need for this upcoming outdoor season. Pool balls, backyard volleyball nets, croquet, bocce, horseshoes, cornhole, and more. Right now, you can get 10% off your entire order at Bodden Sports, BADEN Sports.com/dogs, DAWGS, and use promo code DOGS when you check out. That's 10% off all the top quality sporting gear you need this season. BoddenSports.com/dogs.
I will say this, if we draft a quarterback at 1 or 2 or whatever it is, and we draft another one, and then we have Kenny Pickett, and it's an open quarterback competition. Right now, I'm hard pressed to say that you're putting that quarterback in a good position to succeed with the weapons the Browns currently have at the running back position and at the wide receiver position outside of Jerry Jeudy. And as much as we loved what Jerry Jeudy did for that one season, we've all said we're not just willing to call him a bona fide number one just yet off of a season where, I mean, let's be honest, like it's kind of like when you have the guy in basketball whose average is 30 a game, but his team only wins 10 games. And it's like, well, somebody has to score points. This basketball,
Kyrie Irving.
You know what I mean?
Kyrie
like,
Irving.
This team's, but Kyrie's actually good.
Well, I'm saying,
you know what I mean?
yes,
But there's been average players who've led their team in scoring because they're on a bad team.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's what Jerry Jeudy is. Like, there's a reason I was happy that we traded for him, and I think but I got to see him stack good seasons now. Do it again this year, and I'll feel, and then going into year 3, I'll be like, okay, we have a bona fide. Even if he does it the first 6 games this year, I'll be feeling really good about it. But I'm not willing to just hang my hat on his one season in which the offense was bad and just somebody had to get the ball. So we got to get weapons. We got to get weapons,
100%, man.
Would you? If you were going to trade back, how far would you trade back to accumulate maybe another pick or something in this draft to get weapons? I think if you're trading back, it's not for this draft. We already have 12 picks.
10.
Unless you're trying to get another another second rounder or something like that. How far back would you guys trade?
I don't know if I would.
That's a tough question because I personally would not trade back.
What are you trading back for? If you're trading back for a quarterback, you can't go outside the top 10, I don't think, because there's so many teams that need quarterback. I mean, you got us and the Titans and the Giants right there. You've got the Raiders who could still take somebody to come in to be that heir apparent behind Geno Smith. Yeah. The Jets could get somebody to come in and be behind Justin Fields. And then you got the Saints who could get somebody. They really need a quarterback of the future because it's not Derek Carr. They just need him right now because of the money. There's a lot of teams that, there's a good chance that Ward, Sanders, and Dart all go in the top 10.
I think it depends on if you have a similar grade on the top 3 guys. It appears that everybody has Cam Ward at a level up, but if you have a very similar grade on the other 2, I pretty much think you can afford to the furthest back you could go is to 5, because if they take Cam Ward at 1 and then you're willing to trade back and let somebody else come up and take the other one, and actually probably 3, because the Giants are going to take 1. So I think basically if the Giants are willing to move up 1 spot to get the guy that they think is maybe we have similar grades on Shedeur and Dart and they're way higher on one of them and they're willing to come up 1 pick and maybe they'll give you another pick. Maybe they'll give you their 2nd round pick or whatever it is. I haven't looked at it, or they're willing to give you a first next year to move up 1, then maybe. But I really don't think you can afford, if you're going quarterback and you've identified a guy, I don't think you can drop back more than the Giants, unless the Titans shock the world and don't go QB at 1. If they stay at 1 and take Abdul Carter or something, then maybe you can go back to 5 because the Patriots aren't going to draft a quarterback.
If they take Abdul Carter, I'm staying at 2 and taking Cam Ward.
I think, yes.
I saw somebody in the chat said Cam Ward is like Anthony Richardson.
No.
It couldn't be further from the truth. Like you got to watch the tape. Plus, he actually played a shit ton of games in college. 5 years. Anthony Richardson started, 1 season?
And he was never good.
Never good.
I said it. Go back and watch our draft show 2 years ago. I said, I looked at DF Sports in the face and said, if they draft this guy, they're all getting fired. They haven't gotten fired yet, but I bet you
this could be the year.
This could be the year.
I strictly remember he has Patrick Mahomes qualities. And I remember you saying, get the fuck out of here.
90% of the show is just Blake telling us about all the times he's been right about stuff.
Yes. Well, it happens so frequently. But no, I agree. It's got to be quarterback. So do we want to play another voicemail?
Yeah. Yep. Let me pull it up here real quick. Let's go. Let's just get Brad in here.
Hey, brothers, what are you going to do when all the Hulkamaniacs send the Dogs podcast after you? Oh, Hulk, I don't know if you know what the Macho Man's going to do when he got the cream of the crop Dogs podcast. And what do you say, Ric Flair? Woo! 500 episodes. Good job, guys. You guys made it to the 500 episode, even though we're a little after that. But who cares? This podcast keeps growing. It has amazing people, and it has all the brothers in here, especially the main brother, Justin. We know who you are, brother. And it's just awesome. And I can't wait to see what the future holds, and can't wait for the draft party that's coming up. And this podcast has done a lot for me as a Browns fan, and getting to meet lots of amazing people and have hangouts. And it's just been an amazing time, guys. And maybe one day I'll be on the show. Woo! Let's go, Browns fans. Woo, woo, woo.
On the show all the time. Brad, you're on the show every week. You always, as long as you leave a voicemail, you're in, big dog.
Thank you, Brad. Something if you're hearing voicemails from these Dog Pack members who have been in here for a while, and Brad's kind of, mean, he's been in there for a while now, but he's newer compared to somebody like Andrew Jackson. But as you can see, we have a ton of fun. I'm mulling over the idea of a dogs podcast golf outing kind of thing. Basically, I don't know if I can plan it. It's not enough heads up because some of these people are real far away. But I think it would be so cool to basically like get RSVPs from everybody in the dog pack, set a weekend next year. They come into town. We like do a golf, go to the Hall of Fame, throw like a huge cookout somewhere. Everybody can stay the night in a hotel around here. Then they head home the next day, like a dogs podcast weekend. So that's cool. The kind of stuff that we're brainstorming in the dog pack. So if it's a really cool thing, guys. So again, if you want to win this Nick Chubb signed helmet, or you want to win a Dogs Podcast t-shirt, become a YouTube member between now and the end of this episode, or become a dog pack member at jointhedogs.com. We're also giving away a Browns jersey for anybody who's a dog pack member or becomes one by the end of the episode. So t-shirts, Browns jersey, autographed Nick Chubb helmet. YouTube member, jointhedogs.com, become a dog pack member. You're entered for a chance to win those. We'll be drawn. We should probably do a t-shirt here sometime in the near future.
Yeah, probably ought to do that.
So a couple comments I wanted to address up here. It says, what if they go Travis Hunter number 2 because they say they view him as a receiver so he can fit that hole? So here's my thing. I don't know. I texted this to you guys. Did you guys see that Tet McMillan ran a 4.48 at his pro day today? I know the 40 time's not everything, but
wow.
If they're not going quarterback at 2, which we just talked 10 minutes about how we're pretty sure they're going quarterback at 2. If they're going to go wide receiver, if say they go get Kirk Cousins and they tell him we're not going to go quarterback, we're going to try to compete and be good this year, I'm going Tet McMillan with my first pick. Maybe it doesn't have to be at 2. Maybe you could trade back one spot with the Giants. I'm not letting him get to 4 because I think the Patriots would take him.
Yeah.
So Tet McMillan he's the guy. He's kind of fills what Tommy Reese is looking for. Like Tommy Reese is looking for Chase Claypool type guys. Right. And Tet McMillan, like name. Everything I hear about him is what Chase Claypool was, or like a big receiver. Right. So that's something he would be looking for sure. I hear Drake London, Mike Evans,
T.
Higgins, that kind of stuff.
That's a comp. Yeah.
That's a guy. If we manage to, I think we should go quarterback. But if we got Cousins away and we told him we were going to try to surround him with a bunch of offensive talent this year, that's the guy I would be taking in the top 5.
Yeah, I like Tet McMillan a lot. It's got to be quarterback first because I would much rather take the quarterback first and see what skill players fall out of the first round rather than taking the skill player and seeing what quarterbacks fall out of the first round because there won't be any worth taking at 33. No. But at 33, we were talking about this before the show. I've been seeing a lot of mock drafts from like industry people and stuff where they've actually got Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State falling out of the first round. I'm like, man, if Egbuka's there at 33, you got to take him. He would be a huge addition to the receiver room and that slot position with the other guys. Good Lord, it'd be awesome.
We're going to talk about who we think the Browns should take, and he was on my radar.
Yeah, I was going to talk about too.
This says, did you see the Browns are giving all season ticket holder free journey and draft 1 per seat you have? I got the call today. I don't like 80s music really at all, but I do like Journey. And I would, if I was a season ticket holder and we weren't having, the Dogs podcast draft night, I would go.
I was worried that we weren't going to have Justin here that night.
Don't be worried.
Man, did we lose you?
Don't be worried. Unless I'm going to go like out on assignment and just hit the draft party and just interview people live on the streets. That's probably a bad idea.
Probably.
But, who knows?
If it was Journey and Foreigner, sign me up. I'd be right.
Foreigner. If it was Foreigner, then it would be a little different. Journey, I'm like, yeah. I don't want to upset anybody, but they stink.
So I guess why we've been talking draft a ton, but I had this idea, so maybe we should do this right here in the middle before we pick our first T-shirt giveaway. So I had this idea. Did we tell Kenny about this?
I didn't.
No.
I don't know. Kenny, do you got to get out of here? What's going on with that? Because I didn't know if you need to leave 10 minutes in, or are you staying for the whole thing?
No, I can. I'm whatever works for you guys, man. Whatever works for you guys.
We are live.
Whole thing.
Okay, let's just keep it here, Kenny. Let's go. Well, we didn't prepare you for this, so we're putting you on the spot. I was thinking at work this week, and I was like, "What's a Browns take that like is the hill I'm willing to die on, that maybe people will argue with me on. So I had my Browns take and I sent it to these guys and they liked it. And I figured it'd be kind of good to get into with you guys on this episode. Let us know what you guys think of these. So you guys just want me to start it off since it was my idea?
Yeah.
All right. So the hill I'm willing to die on, my Browns take that I'll take to the grave, is that Johnny Football was drafted a decade too early. And if he was in college now and he was drafted today, he'd be a superstar.
Yeah, I mean, he would still be a superstar, but they still have cocaine, I hear. So I think the problem with Johnny, I mean, I love Johnny. I was as like nervous as I was for Johnny. He brought some excitement. You know, it turned out to be one of the worst drafts we've ever had. But I mean, after watching that documentary, man, I don't know, bro.
That documentary is what made me even willing to die on this even more.
Yeah.
One, I think if he played in college today, there wouldn't be the sneaking around. He would just be getting NIL money.
That's fair.
I think there's a lot more in place to like try to teach with that kind of thing these days. Also, he got drafted to a team with a defensive head coach that was like a no-nonsense guy. He got drafted to an offensive coordinator that wants to go under center, play action. You know, it's Kyle Shanahan, run the ball, play action. Imagine if he got drafted today to Cliff Kingsbury, who I believe was at Texas A&M with him, if I remember correctly from the documentary. And they built an offense around him. I mean, I just think, obviously he is not blameless in the situation, but I think people forget, like, what kind of a fuck up were you when you were 21? I know that I was a big time one. And people love to say, you got to grow up. You're the face of the franchise. Well, how easy do you think it is to grow up when you're 21 and mega rich and everybody's telling you how good you are and everybody's just using you to make millions and millions of dollars and get contracts? Kevin Sumlin can't coach football and he got a huge contract at Texas A&M. All on the back of Johnny Manziel. So I think there's a lot of grown men taking advantage of a college kid at a time where it was even easier to do so, that got careers off of him. And I just think that if he was in college today and they got drafted in today's NFL, where the offenses are much more similar to what they do in college, I think Johnny Manziel, I think things would have been a lot different if he was a decade later.
Yours kind of ties into mine a little bit.
All right.
Mine would be that the NFL destroyed Josh Gordon's career.
Your old or broken phone can let you down when you need it most.
Perfect.
But at Verizon, trade in any old phone from our top brands and get the most for it, up to $2,000 in value, for an amazing new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence and a new line on My Plan, and iPad and Apple Watch Series 10. That's like a 3-for-1. And you can get it on any plan. At Verizon, trade in your old phone for a brand new iPhone 16 Pro, iPad, and Apple Watch. The other guys won't give you that. Visit Verizon.com today. Additional terms apply. Service plan required for Apple Watch and iPad. Up to $2,000 value based on iPhone, iPad, and Apple Watch.
On something that now Rob Gronkowski advertises for, just on TV. A guy that, man, that 1 year where he went crazy and he had 1,800 yards or whatever like that, and he was the one, like the lone bright spot, and just every game he was doing stuff. And then I remember it's almost like a nightmare now, but I just remember we'd get an alert and it'd be like, oh, Josh Gordon's suspended for the season for weed. And now and people don't even care about it. No. You know what I mean? And that it destroyed his career.
Like Max Crosby's on TV smoking reefer during interviews. And
and it's whatever. So for me, that's the one where I'm like, man, you know, it's kind of like what you said. Like, let's say he comes into the league 5 years later, probably doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Well, and he came into the league on like the level 2 drug policy because he got caught smoking weed in college, and that wouldn't even be a thing anymore.
Right.
He wouldn't. So which means he never would have got busted like the first time it was.
Yep. Could have came out into the regular draft, not the
supplemental. Yes, I completely agree.
Yeah, it's just unreal.
Yeah, that's 100%, dude.
100%, dude.
I used to get so mad too.
Me too.
He was like the one of the 3 Browns players we were all looking forward to see, and then we could just never see him.
Yep.
It sucks, man. It sucks.
What's up, Aaron? Good to have you here. That's Aaron. I almost said Ellen. Aaron, Dog Pack member. So what about you, Josh? Do you got one?
Yeah, it's nothing as exciting as you guys. It's just I see this stuff on social media all the time, and this is not a historic thing and too far in the past, but The Browns do not, we've already touched on it. They do not need Joe Flacco. People want to bring Joe Flacco back to this team right now so bad because you already talked about like what he did over that stretch. And he got lucky in most of those games. They were close games, well, one-score games. The Bears game specifically, we had to come back and beat them because he gave them 14 points, just handed it to them. He did that over and over. And as much as I enjoyed that stretch.
That's my phone.
Okay. As much as I enjoyed that stretch and it was fun to watch and it was exciting, like I can still be honest about it and real, and it would not happen again. Joe Flacco coming back. First of all, it's not going to happen. He doesn't want to be here, I don't think. He doesn't want to mentor a rookie.
I think
he doesn't want that on him. It just would not work.
I think it's just the fan base like realizing like this is what we're heading towards. Like this is just like the ultimate like oh shit moment. Like we're like, so who would you rather have, Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco or any of these guys? And like pretty much Browns fans will tell you the other guy all day. You know.
Yeah.
Desmond Ridder, yeah. We'd rather have him than.
Oh
Kenny
my
Pickett.
God!
Just bring him
I
in.
saw that.
Stop. Yeah, we gotta. I've watched a lot of his stuff. That's not it either. He's not the guy.
You got one, John?
Yeah, and yours, like mine, is indirectly related to that a little bit.
Okay.
Because the hill I will die on is that Kevin Stefanski is the primary reason the Browns have made the playoffs twice in the last 5 years.
That's right.
Ooh, I like that. There's gonna be some people in here coming after you.
They're going to tell you that the only game that we've ever won in the playoffs, he didn't
even coach.
I hear that one all the time, but keep going.
That's accurate, I guess, but because he wasn't there. So no, Kevin is the reason that Joe Flacco looked as good as Joe Flacco looked, and who was the other guy?
Jacoby Brissett.
Brissett.
We could name a lot of them, bud. Yep.
Look at what these quarterbacks do when they leave Cleveland, and then tell me there's not a common denominator named Kevin Stefanski.
The only pushback is Baker,
yeah.
but it took a lot. It
wasn't right when he left.
Okay,
No,
and then
he was the
how
worst
many-
quarterback in football right when he left.
Name
Yes.
a division that Baker would have made the playoffs in, other than the one he's in.
Yeah.
Just
true.
just one division.
Crickets. There is none.
Look, I like Baker, and I root for him in the playoffs every year because I just do. But let's be real, he was never winning the AFC North.
I agree. That was a good one. Kenny, before we do yours, if you have one, I'm putting you on the spot. Nick Morgan, thank you for the super chat. Dog Pack member or YouTube member, we appreciate it. You'll be entered for the t-shirt. We'll make sure you have your name. Also, says he's cool with Will Howard around day 3 if possible. I think Will Howard's gone day 2.
Oh, yeah. By the end of the third round?
I think Ward, Sanders, Dart, Howard, Milrow, maybe even Riley Leonard, and maybe even
Chuck.
Kid from Oregon?
McCown. Or not McCown, McCord.
Yeah.
I think there's a chance all those guys are gone in the first 3 rounds.
There's definitely a chance. Yeah. And there's a chance that only 4 or 5 of them go. Who knows? But I mean, I think it's more likely than not what you're saying.
Yeah, trend-wise, we would say probably going to be gone.
But all right, Kenny, what's yours?
I got 2, boys. I got 2. First of all, our uniforms are the best in the league, man. Orange and brown are the colors of autumn. So get over it. It's tradition. It's iconic. And I don't care what fans think about it. Next is Myles Garrett is the best defensive player, and he is way, way better than TJ Watt. I don't care what you say. 83 pressures last year, 500 plus since 2017. Suck it, Steelers. There. Boom.
Not bad, Kenny, considering we just put you on the spot.
I like
it. I like it. All right, so before we move on, do we want to announce a winner?
Yes.
All right, so this first drawing, everybody's name who is either a Dog Pack member or a YouTube member is in a random name generator in Josh's computer. So it's completely random. We don't know who's going to win, and we're not playing favorites, so don't yell at us if that's the case. But when we pick your name, we have your contact information since you're subscribed and whatnot, and we'll get a hold of you.
Well, the T-shirts are for the Dog Pack members on here on YouTube.
Yeah.
And the first one is E-Unit, who I've not yet seen in the chat tonight, but E-Unit.
E-Unit.
So E-Unit, congrats. We'll be reaching out to you to get your size and your address and all that good stuff so we can get the T-shirt sent to you. We got 2 more T-shirts to give away, plus a Browns jersey, plus the autographed Nick Chubb helmet. Become a YouTube member, become a Dog Pack member before the end of the episode, and you're entered for the chance at that at those prizes.
Hey, real quick, did you see the Steelers sign Jog Thornhill?
I did. I did. That made me laugh.
Have fun.
Another thing I kind of wanted to talk about. What did you think about the Bengals? Well, one about signing, before I break off my thought, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Like, obviously you want those guys. But one, I didn't think they actually had the cash to do it. The guy's probably selling organs on the side to have that much cash to put in escrow for the guaranteed money. But then two, I think I saw that those three guys now make up 68% or something like that.
Of 48.
48%. Three guys make up 48% of their salary cap. Three guys.
They're the only team in the NFL to have three players, all three over $28 million mark. And T. Higgins is the highest paid wide receiver 2 in the league, but he's actually the 9th highest paid. He's a top 10 paid receiver now in the league.
And here's what's crazy to me is, one, they've had all these guys, and Joe Burrow's 3-5 against the Browns with these guys. Two, Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow had MVP type seasons last year, and they couldn't win games because their defense was so bad. And they're going to let Trey Hendrickson walk probably. I don't know. That is one. If they were going to do this, why didn't they do it last year? And they could have saved a boatload of money.
Ton of money. Yeah, that's what I was going to do.
You know what I mean? So it makes me think, was Joe Burrow kind of pressuring them? Like, you guys better not fuck this up. So I don't know, man. Like, I guess if I'm a Bengals fan, obviously I'm happy that I'm keeping T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. But like you even mentioned in the social media post, T. Higgins misses a lot of time.
A lot of time.
Yeah.
He misses a lot of games to be the 9th paid highest wide receiver in the league.
That's why there was a lot of speculation as to, like, if he hits free agency, what would be the most he would get, just because obviously a team's going to look at him and say, yeah, we want you to come. We'll pay you to be the wide receiver 1. But how many teams are going to hesitate a little bit because it's like, man, you've missed a lot of games the last 2 years.
If I was like the Patriots or something like that, I wouldn't hesitate at all.
Oh, they need every.
I wouldn't hesitate at all. If you got the cap space and you have the opportunity to bring in a guy like T. Higgins, like, obviously he misses games, but the dude is a legit alpha dude. Like, he has Jamar Chase on his team and he can take over the game. We've seen him do that.
He can, but to me, it's like about priorities, right? And I'm good with the Jamar Chase thing for them because your priority, obviously, they got the quarterback. That's number one. That quarterback wide receiver 1 combo is killer, and I mean it's highly necessary in today's NFL. But can't you get a number 2 at a much better price? And talk about their line. What quarterback Myles Garrett has sacked most in his career by far is Joe Burrow. So does it really matter how great your quarterback wide receivers are if we're getting strip sacks on you? I mean, it kind of matters. At the end of the day, it's always going to matter how good your quarterback is. But my point is, like, why spend all your money on 2 receivers instead of 1 receiver and then worry about your line or worry about a pass rusher, something that gets you to that next step?
This episode is sponsored by Omaha Steaks. Browns fans, if you're like me, you're counting down the days to April, and not just because it's the NFL draft and the Browns have the 2nd overall pick, but because the weather will finally start getting nice again. But during these cold months of winter, there's nothing better than comfort food to get you through to the warm days ahead. And right now, during Omaha Steaks semi-annual sale, you can get 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com, plus get an extra $30 off with promo code BARK, B-A-R-K, when you check out. Now, the last thing I want to do in the winter is make extra unnecessary trips outside. So scratch the grocery runs and the takeout pickups and take advantage of this great sale to stock up on the best quality food. When you're ready for a fantastic and delicious meal right at home, you'll have everything you need ready to go from your freezer. And always, always, always add the caramel apple tartlets to your order. They are by far my favorite dessert of all time. So don't miss the semi-annual sale at Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide and for an extra $30 off. Use promo code BARK at checkout. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com and an extra $30 off with promo code BARK at checkout. Yeah, no, for real. I mean, you look at the deal we, gave Jerry Jeudy last year. He's making $17 million a year.
Yeah.
Average. And now they've got T. Higgins, who's their wide receiver 2, making 28.5 or whatever. And it's like, we got a heck of a deal on Jeudy if obviously his play continues.
Yes.
But man,
this says if if we have a good draft, the season should be fun. And Aaron says he's trying to be excited for the season, not dread it. We'll kind of use that to segue into a little bit of more than just quarterback talk for the draft. So we kind of want to talk about who each one of us wanted to take in the draft through the first 4 picks, so the first 3 rounds. Do you guys, anybody want to kick it off in particular? You guys want me to go? How do you guys want to do it?
I'll just like segue it like this. I told Josh I worked all day. I didn't even look at any of this crap. So, but I told him, I think like you have to go into it with like a priority list as far as like what you need to address. You know what I mean? So like for me, if we're going 4 in, I'm going probably quarterback at 2. Second round, I'm probably either going running back / receiver. And then third round, I'm probably thinking either whatever you don't address at running back, receiver there, and then even think about maybe line depth, offensive line depth.
Yeah. I'm with you. It's quarterback at 2, please. Like, there's no other option for us right now. You can't win without a quarterback. So get your quarterback. That's obviously like we just have to. I'm with you. And if Ibuka's there, take him.
That's
please.
crazy. Yeah.
Take him. So third round, I'm not. If Will Howard's there, I'd maybe just take him after we already take 2 quarterbacks. Why not?
No, sure.
All right. So I like your guys' thought process. Before we go with us, why don't we do another pick just because we're coming up on the hour mark here in about 12 minutes.
Oh, that's true. Well, we can go. Are we going a little over an hour tonight or?
We'll see how it's going.
See how it's going. All right. So winner number 2 of the T-shirt, Mike Dane.
Mike Dane.
Dane, that's going to be a nice looking T-shirt.
Mike Jones or no, Mike Danes.
Hot Dane.
All right.
Hot Danes.
So congratulations. We'll be reaching out to you so you can get your Dogs Podcast T-shirt. Again, we're giving away another T-shirt, a Browns jersey, Nick Chubb helmet. Become a YouTube member, become a Dog Pack member. JoinTheDogs.com. So if we're looking at what I wanted to do, I'm assuming Cam Ward's gone. But if he's not, I'll take Cam Ward. Even though I actually really like what Shedeur can do in terms of accuracy and stuff like that. So, but I would go Shedeur Sanders at 2. And then what I'm looking at here is, I don't know if Emeka makes it to the second round, but if he's there at pick 25 still, or then I'm figuring out, I'm not waiting. I'm going to see what I can do to get back, what it takes to get back up into the late 20s to snag him, because I think that'd be a huge piece for the Browns. Then I'm looking back, say we didn't have to give up one of our third round picks to do that. Maybe we can give up a future second or something to do that. So we can, because I think the Browns have to go essentially all offense in this draft.
Fair.
And then I'm looking and we're looking at our third round pick, and I'm saying wish list is Travion Henderson if he's still there. And if you just miss out on him, it's not bad to follow up, in my opinion, with Quinshon Judkins. And I know I'm sounding like an Ohio State homer there, but I think they're 2 of the best running backs in the draft. And on the episode that Kenny and I did that I forgot to press record, I talked about how Quinshon Judkins was one of the guys that at the combine that impressed me the most with the way he worked out. I don't want workout warriors per se, but I coupled that with what I watched him do at Ohio State. So I'm going hopefully Travion Henderson, but if I have to settle for a Quinshon Judkins, I'm okay with that. And then with my other pick, I'm looking, and I was probably had my eye on Harold Fannin Jr. out of Bowling Green.
Yeah, I like Harold Fannin. I think he could be a really good weapon in the offense for sure.
So that would have been Shedeur, Emeka, either Judkins or Henderson, and if it's not just one of these top running backs, I guess then and then Harold Fannin, just because I think we need depth behind Njoku, and we need athleticism on the perimeter. Especially if we're gonna have a quarterback battle with a Kenny Pickett and a rookie, we gotta give these guys weapons to have a chance to succeed.
Yep, totally agree.
I got a couple for you guys, but I definitely going quarterback, like you guys said. So either Ward or Sanders, whoever is available. Ward would be my preference. Just don't know if he's going to be there. Next, I'd want to get either Omarion Hampton or RJ Harvey, and I like both those guys. Harvey is kind of almost like Genty, and you guys know I love Genty. I just think you're going to get 4 yards with this guy every time, and I think he's going to be instrumental for any quarterback that we get, but to get both of him and a quarterback is not realistic. I like Hampton. He more reminds me of Chubb, but if I can't get him, then RJ Harvey kind of reminds me of Genty. So that's why I got that. Harold Fannin Jr. again, he's huge for me. And then we need something on the line, another depth piece or a guy that could possibly start. I like Gray Zabel. The guy sounds like he's a finisher, sounds like he's a badass, sounds like he's just tough, mean, everything. I'm looking like a nasty attitude on the offensive line. That dude looks like he's got it, and I'm sold on those players.
Oh yeah.
So definitely with you guys, quarterback first. Ward, Sanders, Dart, whatever. Just pick your guy that you want. 33, like you're saying, Blake, Abuka would be great, even trade up a little bit to get him. I think you do got to try to go wide receiver at that point because I like the running backs that could still be available at the top of the third round when we pick versus the receivers that are still available. Because it could be Abuka, it could be a Luther Burden falls out of the first round. I'm not as big on him, but he might be there. Or it could be a guy, I love Trey Harris out of Ole Miss. I would take Trey Harris at 33 if Abuka's gone and just say, this could be our new wide receiver one. I mean, I think he's legit.
It's cheaper to move up to end a second round if there's there's a running back there that you still like. Cheaper to move up and grab that running back in the end of the second than trying to grab it. You know what I mean? A wide receiver early.
Absolutely.
First.
And I forget who's just said it in the chat. It's already gone past, but DJ Giddens or Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. Those are two running backs at the top of the third I'd be looking at because I think they could be legit studs. And then kind of the same thing. That back of the third round, tight end, lineman, something. It's got, but I'm with you. Offense. I keep doing mocks, and I'm like, well, Andrew Berry always picks these defensive linemen kind of in those top 3 rounds typically, but he's got to fix the offense this year.
We don't have the luxury to just go best player available.
No,
it's quarterback. I mean, we
have major needs.
The teams that can just always pick the best player available, they have that foundation. They're already decent. The Ravens and the Steelers do that all the time. And, we just can't do that.
Nope, I agree.
What do you guys think in the chat? What are you guys looking at? I do like Gray Zabel. I think he's going to be more interior than a tackle. Are you guys surprised with – I know we talked about this at the beginning of the episode, but we haven't even really – offensive line-wise. We added the swing tackle – we've addressed nothing on the interior. And the swing tackle we got, I know we can start him he can spot start. There's a chance we're going to end up relying on that guy for over half. I mean, Juwan Jones hasn't started half this. He hasn't played a whole season yet. And I don't know how great a shape he's going to be in. He struggled so bad early last year because he was so out of shape. And I don't know. There are so many holes on the offensive side of the ball for the Browns. To the people who have been screaming to pick a defensive player, especially at 2, I just think there's just no shot that tilts the meter in the Browns' favor at all for this coming season.
You basically struggled, score 15 points a game. Yep. I can't handle that. Again, I'm going to nail I'm just basically going to say, get some weapons. We've said it many, many, many times, and you got to do it, man. I would love, they look great. Carter looks great, but I just need to see more offense, man.
You got to score points.
Mm-hmm.
You got to score points. In the defensive line, I think I made this point a few episodes ago, is I think I saw something with the teams with the Commanders had a top defensive line a few years back, couldn't win any games. I think I saw another thing. I think a majority of the top 10 defenses or something didn't make the playoffs. I don't know. I'd have to fact check that. I had to go look at that. I'm having a hard time remembering my stat. But everybody's pointing to the Eagles' dominant performance on the defensive side of the ball in that Super Bowl is why it's okay to go draft Abdul Carter at 2. And it's are you forgetting that they also have Saquon Barkley, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, which was an MVP candidate a season or 2 ago.
Dallas Goedert.
A great offensive line.
One of the best offensive lines in football.
They put up points, too. The Browns how many games last year were that the Browns were in, and then it's just we just couldn't get to 16 points.
Right.
And then eventually your defense just bends and bends, and eventually they break because they've been on the field the whole time. And then all of a sudden, we're losing by 2 or 3 touchdowns because we can't score. We can't stay on the field. I mean, there was a stretch of games for the Browns where we didn't convert a third down.
Yeah.
It was like a game or two. We were 0 for on third down. I just don't think you can. I'm not going defense. I'm not touching defense in the first 3 rounds, my first 4 picks. They'll be lucky if I'm taking a single defensive player in this draft.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens here. Can I play voicemail real quick?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, this is Thriller from Canada. Just wanted to say congratulations on your 500th episode. You guys are awesome. Keep it rolling. And once again, congratulations.
Good to hear
Short
from
and
you,
sweet.
brother.
Love it.
Yep.
Yes.
Love you, Thrilla.
Yeah.
We got to meet him also. We got a lot of Canadian
Yeah.
fans.
Actually,
I attribute that to Kenny Mack.
Yes.
Bringing them in. I was saying
Yeah.
I got one more voicemail. It's another dude that we've also met.
What's going on, Dog Pack? It's your boy Nate, the greatest. Just wanted to drop in and congratulate the boys on 500 episodes. It's been really cool to see you guys grow throughout the years, see everything change, all the guys, all the studio and everything. It's been pretty cool. Love the Dog Pack too, guys. Met a whole lot of really cool people in there. We got people that have been there since pretty much the beginning. We got a whole lot of new faces. Like, it's awesome. So if you're a Browns fan looking for people to talk to, hang out with, laugh with about the Browns, cry with about the Browns at this point, feel free to join up. We're all in here hanging out, talking about whatever. Congratulations again, boys. I'm going to get out of here. Have a good one.
Thank you, Nate.
Yeah,
By the
great
way,
dude.
if you need somebody to carry you to some Warzone dubs, Nate is the greatest is the guy to do it. Got like 5 accounts. They're all Onyx or whatever it is these days. Like, dude's banger on there. I played with him one night. He just carried me to dub after dub. But we saw what's in here. It's all about the offense, defense being complementary. At one point I talked about often is we lead the NFL in turnovers the last 2 years. No, it's part of that is instability at the quarterback position. And the one quarterback we've had the last 2 seasons that hasn't been turnover prone, he's been allergic to touchdowns also, and 200-yard games, and staying healthy. Pretty much anything involved on in terms of helping the team win. So I think a big area, I guess if we can just, we're getting close to the end. Do we got to pick another T-shirt? We got one more T-shirt to do?
One more T-shirt.
All right.
And this time it is Brian Ford.
Brian Ford. What a great name. Brian Ford.
Thank you. We will get a hold of you, get you your Dogs Podcast T-shirt. So we got a few more minutes left in this episode. We're not going to do a firm cutoff at the hour, but we're getting close to wrapping it up. So which means you're losing your chance to win the Nick Chubb autographed mini helmet or the Browns jersey. If you want to be included for the Browns jersey, head to jointhedogs.com, become an official Dog Pack member. Like you heard Nate is the greatest say, it's a great time for everybody involved. And if you want a chance to win the Nick Chubb helmet, either become a Dog Pack member or jump on and become a YouTube member. Guys, the YouTube member is 99 cents. The hardest part about it is just making a YouTube account.
Yeah.
It's 99 cents a month. It helps out the show a ton. You don't even notice you're missing 99 cents and you might get a Nick Chubb helmet out of it. So don't wait. So if that's something you're interested in, do it because we're not going to sit around and wait for you. But so I think I guess I'm throwing us on the spot. Let's pick one thing before we pick these last 2 things, like that you need to see improvement from the Browns for them to be more successful this year. And I guess as an example, I'll start with mine. It's going to be the Browns can't lead the league in penalties again, especially pre-snap penalties like that. For me to see growth out of Kevin is in terms of a head coach, and just if we want to help probably a young quarterback or a quarterback who's been on a couple different teams now be successful, we can't be starting behind the chains 1st and 15, 1st and 20 on half-hour drives because we lead the league in pre-snap penalties. So for me, if the biggest area of improvement, I need to see how the Browns eliminate the penalties. In-game penalties, during the play penalties, officiating's awful. They're going to happen. The pre-snap penalties are terrible.
Oh, drive you mad.
Yeah, I'll add to that because you brought up Kevin, and I'm a huge supporter, but one of my complaints with him has been clock management. How many times do we see our opponent score in the last 2 minutes of a half? I thought it was crazy. I don't have the numbers, but it seemed like it happened every game. So I would say I'd love to see clock management improve. Quit giving the ball up with 90 seconds to go and somehow letting a team go right down the field.
I guess I would also tie in with kind of Blake with the penalties, but my thing is just look like a confident football team. Next year, I don't want to see 80-yard touchdown pass and 2 guys going. I don't want to see any of that shit anymore. When we were on offense, I don't want a receiver to just stop mid-route and then I see a pick 6. I don't want to see that shit anymore. I'm just tired of the dysfunction. I just want stability. And, whether that comes at the quarterback position, it's going to have to come from that side of the ball. There's going to have to be some leadership and some growth, but Jesus, just figure it out just a little bit.
Well, that leads right into what I wanted to say, which was stop filling up the back of the freaking jersey. At most, 2 quarterbacks start this year. If you got to start with a veteran because he won it out in camp, or you just feel more confident, maybe the rookie just isn't quite up to speed, whatever. But as soon as you make that switch, that better be it. I don't want to see 3, 4, 5 freaking starting quarterbacks again this year. Just knock it off.
Since 99, it's been like that.
Yeah.
Every year or every other year, 3, 4 guys.
I said as soon as we traded for Kenny Pickett, he's going to play at some point this year. Just every year is what happens. Every quarterback that's on our roster gets a start at some point.
Here's the thing too is it's not even an argument. The best 4-year stretch of football the Browns have played since they've returned in 99 was the only 4 years that this franchise has had stability at the quarterback position.
Yeah,
that's fair.
And we all were okay with moving on from Baker in terms of because we thought we needed to upgrade that position to get to the next level. But we had 4 years where we didn't have to worry about the quarterback position. Yeah. And it was the only 4 years that we've had any kind of success since we've returned, really, at least any kind of consistent success. So stability at the quarterback position is huge. What about you, Kenny? Let's wrap it up here, and then we'll pick some winners.
Yeah, I like the stability that you're saying, but I'm looking for a team that's bought in with stability. And the biggest way that shows is on third down offensively and defensively. Last year, our third down rate was 29.5%. That's awful. The Chiefs were like 48.5%. And on defense, we went down significantly in 2023, 29%. That was the lowest in the NFL. We were all the way up to 36.2. Guys are bought in on third down. Those are your money downs. Those are where you make your money. And I want to see both those improve. Having Miles come back is great for the defense. But like I said, let's get some playmakers so we can make those third down conversions on offense much, much better.
I like it, guys. Well, we're going to wrap this thing up. I don't want to just be rambling and have dead air. We're 500 episodes in now. We should be better than that. But before we pick the contest winners, the grand prizes, I just want to again say thank you to everybody who watched tonight, everybody who's ever watched an episode for us, even you, Aaron Butler. You've watched probably almost
what's
all
up,
500
Aaron?
Every single one.
What up, bro?
Yeah, anybody who's watched an episode, liked or commented, shared it on one of the social media platforms, joined the YouTube members, or became a Dog Pack member, just we appreciate it. We've gotten to go from, if you don't go back and watch our first episode, but if you don't believe me, we've come a long way from an iPhone that was on a music stand that fell off mid-episode to having a studio like this, and which is also getting another makeover.
Which this will be the last time you see this studio this, actually.
Yep. I don't even know when we're going to get you back in here because of the makeover.
It might not be till the draft night.
Maybe draft night.
Unveil the new studio.
Yeah. So we appreciate everybody who's been here with us for going on 5 seasons of covering the Browns. We've got to do a lot of cool things that I never thought I'd get to do because people like you watch this show. I don't know why you guys do, but we appreciate that you guys do. And it's been a really cool ride for us, and we appreciate all you guys. So again, thank you. And without further ado, let's give away a Browns jersey and give away an autographed Nick Chubb helmet. Which one do you guys want to do first? What do you guys consider more of a grand prize, a Browns jersey or an autographed Nick Chubb helmet?
Are you asking the crowd or are you asking the people sitting here at the
I guess it was rhetoric.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not answering that.
Okay.
Autographed Nick Chubb helmet is the grand prize.
So this helmet's had Justin's hands on it. And
my daughter got it actually autographed. So this is a.
Oh, you just made it.
Send
weird.
the kids.
And
the kid's not coming.
Selling point. Before I unveiled it, I had it sitting on my junk.
Oh, geez.
I'll throw the calendar in as well with the helmet. So that we're working on.
All right. All right. So let's raffle off the jersey then first. Or I guess it's not a raffle, but let's pick the jersey. So again, hopefully, if you guys join, this is your chance. Listen up. We'll be reaching out. The only stipulations for this Browns jersey is you can't. It's not like a custom. It's got to be a player who's on the website.
Yeah. So you even wait till after the draft if you want to.
Yeah. So we'll get hold of you and figure out what your options are.
Get that Kenny Pickett. Just roll with it, bro.
The person who needs to let us know what jersey they want is Mr. Philip Davis.
Philip Davis.
Yeah. Hey.
Congratulations. Browns jersey. And like Josh said, we'll reach out to you if you want to wait until after the draft, maybe get a first round rookie quarterback for a season or two until you have to get rid of it. But you got a Browns jersey coming your way. So thank you for supporting the show. And then without further ado, let's give away this Nick Chubb autographed helmet. If you guys need proof, we'll send you the pictures of Justin getting it autographed.
Yes, and sorry, Andrew Jackson, you will not be able to sniff it, but maybe you can ask to borrow it from Mr. Tim the Gnome.
Hey!
Tim!
Right on.
Dog Pack member, sounds Canadian, isn't.
Nope.
Yes, he really does.
He's from one of them northern states. It starts with an M. I think he's from Minnesota.
I thought it was Minnesota too.
Yeah,
I thought I wanted to say Wisconsin for some reason too, but I think it's Minnesota.
Congratulations, Tim. We got your contact info. We've probably already sent you stuff, so we might even already have your address and stuff. But we'll get this boxed up, shipped up, and sent to you. Autographed Nick Chubb helmet. We appreciate everybody who supported the show, everybody who caught the celebration of the 500th episode. Thank you, Kenny, for hanging out with us for the whole episode. We held you hostage.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah, no problem, man. It was a blast. I've had a blast with you guys for the last 5 years. Like, I don't know if the guys, the viewers know, like Blake reached out to me on the Facebook page with my Browns backers group. He's like, yo, can I throw some content in? And I was like, sure, whatever. I better watch this for my crew. And I watched it and I'm like, oh my God, these guys want voicemails. I'm going to call and leave an intro. I'm going to leave a voicemail every week. And then that all accumulated. And we finally we didn't mention it on this show, but we had the after hour shows. Remember those?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I got on a couple after hours. And I think actually the first one I did was on St. Patrick's Day. Was it not?
It might have been.
Shibs.
So it's a little anniversary.
I am 38. I don't recall that day.
Yeah. And then it just went down to like Blake and I breaking bread with Zach Kopp and spiraled into me meeting Justin and John for some tailgating. I've hung out with Josh at the local B-dubs waiting for a draft party.
Yep.
Like, I've had a blast, man. It's been so much fun.
It went from, I created the Facebook page for the show before we ever even recorded an episode. And I was messaging people, seeing if I could post in their groups. So that's how I first introduced myself to Kenny. To now, we've been on the other side of the country in Vegas, me, him, and John, and and partying out in Vegas. So that's the kind of cool thing that we've been able to do with this show, and it's all because of people like you guys who've been listening consistently for going on 5 years now, and that's not lost on us. So we appreciate it. Thank you, guys. If you want a prize tonight, we'll make sure to be reaching out to you here shortly to get your contact information so we can get your prize sent to you guys. Browns fan and Cincy, we appreciate the super chat. Yeah. Thank you for supporting the show. But again, thank you guys. This was awesome. I'm glad we finally got to do it. Third time was a charm. And we'll see you guys sometime later this week. But again, thank you, and go Browns.
Thanks for listening to another episode of The Dogs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at The Dogs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedogspodcast.com.
This episode is brought to you by Danger Coffee. Browns fans, we talk about how Danger Coffee is made free from mold toxins that are in 45% of the world's coffee, but that's not all that Danger Coffee has to offer. Mineral and nutrient deficiencies are a big deal. They make you feel sick, tired, stressed, and they can give you brain fog. These deficiencies negatively affect your immune system, your digestion, sleep, metabolism. Have you ever wondered why you get an initial burst from your coffee? but then you get that little crash not long after. Danger Coffee's patent-pending process remineralizes your body with more than 50 trace minerals and electrolytes, leaving you more energized, engaged, powerful. These micronutrients enter the cells to boost performance. They bind to toxins to provide detoxification support. I know that sounds like a lot, but the bottom line, guys, is minerals matter, and most of us really don't get enough of them on a daily basis. Danger Coffee delivers micronutrients, plus it gives you access to the minerals you already have. Head to dangercoffee.com, use our code DAWGS, DAWGS, for 10% off your order, and that code can be used over and over, so you get 10% off every order you make using code DAWGS. It's time to start every day off with a cup of coffee that gets you going and actually keeps you going. dangercoffee.com, code DAWGS.
Your old or broken phone can let you down when you need it most.
Perfect.
But at Verizon, trade in any old phone from our top brands and get the most for it, up to $2,000 in value, for an amazing new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence and a new line on My Plan, and iPad and Apple Watch Series 10. That's like a 3-for-1. And you can get it on any plan. At Verizon, trade in your old phone for a brand new iPhone 16 Pro, iPad, and Apple Watch. The other guys won't give you that. Visit Verizon.com today. Additional terms apply. Service plan required for Apple Watch and iPad. Up to $2,000 value based on iPhone, iPad, and Apple Watch.